So for this video we're going to look at the Roland's JP-08 boutique synth. Now we're just going to go through each section here. So first off we have the LFO. Now it has the rate, delay time, and then it has a bunch of different shapes, waveforms. So you can't really do anything until we apply something to it, so let's go to the VCO mod. That means voltage controlled oscillator. Now what we can do is, this is saying LFO mod, we can run it through the LFO. So that means the pitch of whatever wave we're playing will be modified by this. So let's turn that up all the way just so we can hear how it'll sound. And then we'll turn the rate up here. And then we'll change the waveform of it. And we have a delay time here, so if we bring that up a little bit, it's not going to apply immediately. It will wait and then fade in as high as you put it. So as you can hear, it'll just modify it accordingly. And over here we have envelope mod. So if you run this, this is actually going to be modifying the pitch according to envelope 1, okay, which is down here. So let's turn that up and change the values. You can also invert envelope 1, so it can go the opposite direction. So we can use a combination of both of those to get some really crazy sounds, modulation sounds. Also here we can modify it to only alter VCO1 or VCO1 and 2, or just VCO2. VCO being a voltage controlled oscillator, which we're going to get into now. So right now we're in the sine wave, so if we change this over, we're going to go to pulse width mod here. We're going to switch this to pulse, okay, which is this shape right here. Okay, now what you can do is, in the middle it says manual, so I can manually change the pulse width mod that way, or we can assign it to the LFO. Let's bring the rate up and bring the pulse width mod up. You can also apply it to envelope 1, so you can modify it that way as well. Okay, so let's move back all the way into VCO1 here. Now, this will change the range of VCO1. And obviously this will change the sound of the waveform itself. There's also noise. Okay. So now VCO2. Okay, so we can change the source mix. Right now it's set to oscillator 1. So let's put it in the middle here. And now we'll hear a balance of VCO2 and 1. Now right now synchronize is off. So right now it's running both of those. So what I can do, this is actually set, I already set this previously to playing on the right tune. So you have to kind of hold down the note and then match it to this if you want it to do that. So. And then you can turn this fine tune here to kind of get a bigger sound. So from there you can also change the waveform. And I'm going to go back to this cross mod. Okay, so what cross mod does is it takes the VCO2 and it modulates VCO1. So it's kind of like, almost like an LFO, but not quite, because it's, well, I'll let you hear what it does. So I'm going to hold down a note. Let's turn that up. And that's going to depend on this. So what we have here, we have low frequency waveforms over here. So you can hear it kind of sounds like an LFO. So we can do a lot of strange sounds by modifying all of this, changing the source mix, and just playing with cross mod. Turn the synchronize on. And we'll change the VCO to on the envelope mod, for example, and you can hear different changes that way. So you can play with all sorts of things with using the cross mod. So I'm going to turn that off now. So you kind of get a feel like we can do a lot with already what we have here. Moving down, we have HPF. That is high pass filter. So if you have like lower notes and you turn it up, you'll hear that fade out. Now we have cutoff resonance. This is the VCF. That is voltage controlled filter. So cutoff, okay, does that. We have resonance. You notice the volume kind of goes down a little when you pull up the resonance. That's because it's emphasizing the cutoff more or less depending. And if you bring it down, the cutoff, it'll come more prevalent if you change the cutoff here. We can also switch a slope to 12 dB, negative 12 dB, or negative 24 dB. I just like using negative 24. Moving on, we have LFO mod, envelope mod. It's the same as up here, except it's going to apply to the filter. So same thing. Let's turn up the LFO mod, turn down the cutoff so we can hear the change, turn up the resonance a little. Let's change the shape here. Okay, next we have envelope mod. We can tell it to go envelope 1 or 2. I usually leave it on 1. Can't really hear much of a change there, so we're just going to modify this here. So again, we can modify it, make it inverse, so it kind of goes and reverses what we're setting up here with ADSR. Next, let's move over key follow. All that does, and it all applies to this too, I think, it modifies the attack, decay, and release depending on how high or low you are on the keyboard. I don't usually use that. So next we're looking at voltage control amp. The level, that's just the volume. We have LFO mod. Now it has 4 settings. Right here it's on 0, so let's turn that up just so we can hear what it does. It's going to affect the amp. So as you can hear, it's modifying depending on the shape of the LFO here, what we choose. Now if we set it to 3, it's most prevalent. If we bring it down, it makes it less prevalent. and then 0 just turns it off altogether. Alright, now let's go to envelope 1. Obviously, just attack, decay, sustain, release. Same as in envelope 2. Now, envelope 2 normally is your amp envelope. So let's modify that so you can hear how we can change the sound. I'm going to bring up decay and release. Let's bring it down more. Let's change the octave holding down dual and pressing this. Okay. Let's give it a little bit of pitch mod here in the LFO. Maybe not that much. Okay, so now we know pretty much how all this works together. You can do a lot of experimentation with all of this. It's very fun. So let's look into the delay settings. So hold down manual. We have, if you press 6, that is going to be the volume of the delay. So let's turn it up here. Let's do manual 7. That is the time of the delay. And manual 8 is the feedback. So I'm just turning those up. And let's hear it. Now, there is different mode called dual mode. What the dual mode does is it loads presets on a stereo field. Right now I have this wired in mono, so I'm not actually going to cover that, but you can explore it. Should be information in the manual about that. Now let's go to sequencer. So hold down dual, press manual. Now that's blinking, that means we're in the sequence mode. So you press whatever step you want to insert a note. So let's press 1 and then play a note. Let's do 3, 5. If you messed up or you just want to erase a note, you just press it again, it's gone. If you want to just play a different note, let's say you don't want that note, you want to play this note instead, it just overwrote it. So you just hold it down and press it. So let's press play. Okay, what you can also do here, if you hold down dual, what that's going to do is change the tempo of the sequence. So pressing play again over here, play and stop, just toggles it. So let's go into here, dual, and bring this up. And here, obviously the tempo goes faster or slower. And also, if you want to do gate, that's this one. So playing, dual, and then turn it down. As you can hear, it doesn't have as much release. Now to exit the sequence mode, hold down dual, press manual, let go, and it's not blinking anymore. So we're back into the normal view. So from here, I do want to mention, if you hold down dual and you turn this up, that means Portamento on, Portamento off. So what that does, also the timing here. So let's turn up the timing. So it's a lot slower. We bring it down here, it's going to be faster.